Hello, you're welcome back to the part two of our stories with Christina Law. So, in the first part, we lost her communication with her, and now we're back again. So, I just want to thank you for staying with us, for being there, for staying with us in this journey. So my name is Ruth Hephzibah, and I am your host on Grief2Grace Stories. So here at Grief2Grace Stories, we share stories of resilience. We share stories of how far we've been in our journey. We share story of how far God has taken us from being stuck to being unstuck. And we share stories of how far God has been able to lift us up from grace. So where are you in your journey? And like I always ask you, how are you doing? So are you doing good? Are you okay? What are you doing right now? Are you just lying down on your bed? Or are you trying to put up something to have a meaning to your life, in this journey? Or are you at work? Are you finding it so difficult to move on with your life after all that you've been through? Don't worry, you're not alone in this journey. We are all here together in our journey, and God is taking us to that place of our journey that we didn't even envisage that we were ever going to be. So today, I just want to say thank you again for joining. I have Christina. Last time we had Christina, and I shared with you how she shared her whole story of how she navigated grief from being diagnosed with spinal bifida, right? And also how she got married to her husband, and they were together for 3 years and 10 months. And after her marriage, 10 months after, he passed, and it was kind of heartbreaking. But she found grace in her purpose, and after then, she rediscovered herself and rediscovered the true meaning of grief. And she also will be sharing today specifically how nursing home helped her to navigate her grief. So there are just so much that we'll be sharing in this particular episode that we have. So right now she'll be sharing how she's been able to navigate all those grief, all those stories that we heard in the first episode. Now she is going to be talking about it in the second part of it, or how she has been able to, the lessons she's learned, the advices she can give to you, the things she has been able to achieve in those short time. So I have Christina, but before I bring her forth again to share her story, I want you to just stay tuned. Don't forget to buy a copy of our book, A Pen That Rewrites Grief is that book that you need in this journey. A Pen That Rewrites Grief is that book you need in this journey. It is that book that will take you from where you are right now to where you need to be. You can scan the QR code and get it, because it is a healing guide, a 60-day healing guide that can help you. Every day has its own interventions, and those interventions are real. They can help you, like, there's so much that you can do that it can just help you discover your purpose, rediscover who you are. It goes from forgiveness, it goes to being able to talk to your grief, being able to define your grief. Like I always say, the first part for your healing is being able to define your grief. So this will help you be able to define your grief and know exactly what you're going through. So thank you. I just want you to know that I love you. And also in this journey that we have a number of persons who are just going through so much in their journey, and they cannot really figure out what to do. So now this is Adopt a Grieving Family. You can be their light. So be the light, be the light that God has destined you to be in the life of one person, a grieving family. Adopt one today. And the process is so easy. Just go to our website, grief2graceinternational.org, and you'll be able to see the so many ways that you can actually help a grieving family in so many numerous ways you can. So you can help with groceries, you can help with meal tickets, you can help with just so much. You can help with anniversaries, you can help with their activities, you can help the kids, get their coloring books and all that they can help. You can help with psychosocial needs, you can help, especially most people don't have insurance and they don't even know how to navigate some of this stuff and get the help that they need, and they have to pay out of pocket to see a therapist, to see a PSR, to see whoever. You can be that person, that instrument that God can use in this journey. So I just want to say I love you, and like I said, we'll be bringing forth to you now very shortly Christina Law, and she will be sharing her story. But before then, I just want you to stay tuned, and the next voice you'll be hearing will be that of Christina. So you're welcome back. Welcome back
Thank
to
you.
episode. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining us again. I know the last time we lost communication and we could not continue, and we're back again. And we were talking about how you honor your husband, and you talked about how you have memories of him in right there, framed up, and you talk to him like every day. And that is a very great way to honor your loved one because those things bring back memories, those things bring connection. And like I always tell people, these are loved ones that are gone before us. They are not dead, but they are there living larger lives. They set as angels to watch over us, to help us in our journey as we navigate our earthly journey. So we need to keep memories of them. We need to honor those experiences that we've shared. They were not inanimate things, even some of our inanimate objects, we still honor them. Not to talk of someone who has lived with you, who has stayed with you, who you have memories. Maybe you quarreled, you used to quarrel a lot. Maybe you will definitely miss a part of it or a part of that person. And I really appreciate what you're doing in this journey. So I don't know what you guys, you all listening, have lost. Maybe you've lost jobs, you've lost money, you've lost your husband or your spouses, you divorced, separated, you lost your parents, or whatever. Just know that you're not alone in this journey. Or you lost your health, because we've talked about that in our situation, and you lost all these, and you have to navigate it. Don't worry. Just know. Trust the process and continue to move. So, Christina, you're so welcome again to this beautiful episode. And I just want to know, how are you doing today?
Doing well today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us again. So, like I said, we have Christina, and we're going to continue from where we stopped the last time. So, Christina, I just want to know, if you have one last thing to talk to your husband about, or to say to him today, what would that be?
Oh, I think I would tell him that I love him and that um, I tell him everything that I've been doing since he's been gone. I know that he would be proud of me. And um, yeah, I think that I would just talk to him about whatever came into my mind, and just like we always did.
Wow, that's awesome. So now talking about those things you're doing right now that he will be proud of. So what are those things you're actually doing right now? that you've done
So,
as
so um, I'm an social media influencer. I talk on TikTok. I do a little bit of nursing home reform, and then I also talk. I talk about my story on there a lot. And I also wrote a book called Blessings from Within the Dark, and it talks about finding blessings in your darkest of circumstances, and how my dark circumstances brought about blessings. And yeah.
wow. Okay, that's nice. So, and these things you have them where? Where can people like get them?
So my book is available on Amazon, and it comes in all forms. And then I have a TikTok. You can find me on there at the nursing home chick, and same for YouTube and Instagram.
Okay. So now talking about the nursing home, because I know you said you were going to talk about how the nursing home has been able to help you navigate your grief, right? So is that something you really want to share about with nursing? I know a lot of people have like different opinions about the nursing homes, the care, the blah blah. So what's really like different now?
So I do share about the nursing home, and I do share about grief and things that I have learned, such as, sitting with people that are passing away. It gives you a perspective of what it's like to go through that process, because you see it firsthand.
Hmm. So that's deep, deep because for me most times I'm always like, I still think I've not really been able to have like that kind of a heart to see someone really passing away. It gives me some kind of goose pimples, it gives me some kind of down times. So now being in such a situation and you have to see them like every time, what's that special thing you've learned from this whole process?
Just that I've learned that no matter what your situation is, no matter what you're going through, you can't choose what happens to you. You can never choose what happens to you in this life, but you can choose how you respond to it. And so, like, in some instances, I can feel bad for a little while, but if I stay there, I'm going to get stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be harder to climb out of that. And I learned that about, like, I learned that, um, going through grief and everything, that, you know, each time, like each first that I went through, the year of the firsts, um, the first birthday, the first, the first anniversary, everything, um, I had to learn to be okay with being upset for a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
then pulling myself back up.
Talking about the first birthdays and those anniversaries, I think that's a topic for another day, mostly for most people, because I
Mm-hmm.
know personally, being someone who has navigated grief, over a period of time, that season that I don't know. I know it happens to almost everybody I've spoken with, like few
Mm-hmm.
days, few periods before that time, you see yourself like withdrawing. You see yourself like, sometimes I'm like, why am I just slow? You know, why am I struggling to get things done? And I'm looking at the time, I'm like, oh my God, this is November. Or, oh my God, this is April. Oh my God, this is December. I just keep looking based on the activities I've had. It's just like with my late husband, we had a lot of activities together. We had everything was like monumented with different kinds of activities. His birthday, my birthday. Like I just had my birthday the other day, and everything is just like we put plan a lot of activities around it, and it's just like we try to modelize everything and give back, do this, do that, and now it's gone, and you're like, God, you know can I really
Mhm.
to move through all of these? And somehow it just comes like, especially when it's like April, for instance, we got past April 10. As we're just approaching April, I just see myself like slowing. I just see myself like trying to, you want to do something, you're trying to do it, it takes more, you know, more efforts to be able to do all of those stuff. And I look at the time, maybe I become more emotional. I, like you said, anger, you're trying to make sure you're not angry. Just a little thing can just trigger just anything. And I'm like, when I get to those moments, I look at my date. And I'm like, so when I like, oh, this April, that April again.
Mhm.
April that changed my whole life forever. So I understand what you're saying, and I know there may be a number of people out there that truly can resonate with this. If you are in the audience and you can resonate with this, you can put it in the chat or you can send a DM. And like she said, you can reach out also on her TikTok, and support. Here at Grief to Grace, what we do is just to help support everyone who is navigating their journey in whatever form. We just try our best to be able to help you navigate those journeys and see how far we can go. So, now, what advice, truly from the bottom of your heart, will you want to give to someone who feels stuck in their grief?
Reach out for the hope of God, and because it's always there, and reach out to those around you, let them help you, um, because sometimes we want to do it ourselves. Especially, I know for me, I'm very independent and I want to do everything myself, but it's hard, and we have to let those people come behind us and help us.
Wow.
Let them help you. Yeah.
Okay, this is kind of personal though. So, because I wrote on my birthday, I wrote a book on love again, because over these years, my podcasts and interviews, I've realized that most people tend to find love again. And the easiest way for you to be able to navigate grief is to find love again. When we say finding love again, find love again in someone else, find love again in an activity, find love again in just something, but mostly find love again in yourself, find love again, but mostly is based on finding love again in, because the Bible says, okay, till death do us part, right? It means that when one chapter closes, like one of my guests said, another chapter needs to open again, because everybody's chapter
Hmm.
ends at that moment that we came together and it closes. And I think that got me really thinking. That was one of these podcasts I had, that was November 22nd or so. And she said that, and that got me really thinking and got me to write this book that I wrote. And it's Finding Love Again. So you can find love again, how to find love again in your grief, in your purpose, in the things that you, in your loss. Maybe you
And in
divorced,
yourself,
in
in
yourself.
yourself as well.
Because you need to find love. For me, I had to find love again in myself to be able to do what I'm doing today. I had to find love again in myself to be able to live for my family. I needed to find love again for myself. And most times People are like, "Oh, you've really lost so much weight. How did you do it?" Because I found love again in myself. I found love again that, okay, I needed to take more care of myself. I needed to do the things, do away with the things that are not good for me, and do take proper care of my health and all of that. So, finding love again. So, how do you hope to find love again? Do you wish to find love again? And how do you hope to go about that?
Um, I don't think that I look for love as like in a partner. If it comes along, that's okay, but I am not looking to that right now. But as far as I always try to find ways to love myself more and take care of myself, and it was a learning process because you have to tell yourself that it's not selfish to love yourself. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people think that it's selfish to think about yourself all the time, but really in those times when we're depleted of you know when we are so down, we have to find ways to love ourselves.
yeah,
And like I've found, like you said, different hobbies and activities, and like writing my book was very cathartic. I find myself loving to write about my husband and our stories, and going back and reading over them, and it's like reliving them all over again.
that is it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's a great one because for me, basically, I like you said, I find love mostly in writing. you know,
Mhm.
just write, I sing, I compose. I try my best to keep writing and posting as much as I can, and finding love again, like you said, is finding love in yourself mostly, and that's self-love. So if you feel depressed in whatever form, then you need to look out for the coping skills that are really working for you. And we've just talked about some of those coping skills, like writing about her husband, which like living and reliving life again. And there are so many other coping skills that you can use in this journey, like addressing your grief, putting that chair beside you and talking about it, but like writing a journal, putting every of your activities down, like being intentional about being a fresh start, because I'm a fresh start advocate. I believe that a fresh start is possible. So
Mhm.
make those money again. You can live life without him again. You can do things without that person again because you are relearning and relearning. So you need to relearn with whatever journey you're at. You need to relearn again, right? So I just want to say thank you so much because those small steps that you just talked about, like those little small steps that you just talked about, are really key. You know, so I don't really want to elaborate more on those small steps for someone who is really like navigating grief. So someone who has been diagnosed like you were, maybe as a child, or the person is still a child, or you are a parent and you have to go through. I can imagine what your parents would have gone through, taking you to and fro every time. That would have been a grief for your mom.
Mhm.
And for the child may not really see it as much. Oh, sees more of those. So, what is that one step, those little steps that you think people can actually use to navigate those journeys of their lives?
Um, like I said, just to reach out to God and find ways to become closer to Him. Um, and to, like you were saying, start fresh and make sure to find ways to start fresh, and just, yeah.
Yeah, I understand. So, like, because you've mentioned a number of them before, so and one of those which is key is finding God again.
Hmm.
Like you said, stay connected. You need to be connected to something. So stay connected to God, stay connected to that being that has made you who you are and is keeping you in your journey. So stay connected as much as you do.
Because
And
the thing is with God is that He's never away from you. So even in those times when you're alone, you're not alone.
yeah, that's true. You're not never alone. I can remember some time when I feel so down. Okay, like last night I was just there. I was reading some books and I just had like flashback memories and I'm like, oh my God, you know? And when I wanted to make some prayers, they were just directed to those flashbacks that I heard. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you for always being there. So those things, like grief never goes like away. It has come to stay with you, but it's something that you need to work on and learn to move with it every day of your life. If I come in here right now and tell you that you see you grieving, this grief is going to go. We'll put it here, we'll put it under the trash and it's gone, and we put it in the trash can. It doesn't work that way. It means that every day, because we're talking about experiences that we had, there will always be those flashbacks. There will always be situations that will bring them back. But, and we may be navigating it right now as we're talking. Maybe you're a parent or you're just something you're going through sickness, I can imagine how your husband felt knowing that he was going to die, and he had type 1 diabetes, he had kidney disease, yeah, and he couldn't see, but thank God he could see before, at least could see his
Yeah.
mind. So I can imagine all of those grief that goes around with most of those illnesses. I can't be in their shoes because I have never been ill, but I can just I'm trying to have a feel of what it like based on what I have been through also in my journey. And I can tell you, you're not alone in this journey. Every day of your life, just stay put, sit back, sit back and begin to reread all that you know, begin to relearn all that you've lost, and begin to know more about all that your journey as you keep going. And one last thing before I let you go, you talked about your book. So I don't know which of them you really want to share right now with us. So and then we'll be up.
What? I'm sorry. What was the question?
Okay, the books, you say you wrote a number of books. Which of them really like
Yeah.
so
So
that you really want to share?
so I wrote my first book, which is my memoir, Blessings from Within the Dark, and then I have a devotional called A Touch of Blessings, and then I have a journal that is a prompted journal called Finding Your Blessings. And the journal is basically to give you a habit of finding those blessings during each dark and or each bad and good time throughout your day.
Okay, so you can get it from Amazon. So you can
Mhm.
actually go support. I love supporting everyone. So you can support her dream and her aspirations. Support Christina by getting a copy of this book. And I'll drop a link in the bio, and I hope you'll be able to get those books. As I get those links, I'll put them in there and just support her in the little way that you can and support her ministry, support her journey, and I'm sure you'll be glad you actually did. Thank you so much, Christina, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, for Grief to Grace, you can be part of Grief to Grace by going to our website grief2graceinternational.org. And the last time I talked about God putting me through a journey, and really that journey is up, and I was able to get out the a lot on that journey, and we is up and on, and we're launching it big in March, and I just want y'all to support in it. Is called Sacred Sensuality, and it is the grief associated with marriages in our modern time. And I just want you to be able to, those interventions that you need to be able to navigate and bring back intimacy into your marriage is all God is talking about. So don't forget to buy our books, Sacred Sensuality, A Pen That Rewrites Grief and Love Again, and all of our workbooks and journals to support us as much as, because that's all the only way you can really support Grief to Grace, by helping and sharing your stories. So if you have a story and you feel I want to share my story, then you go to our website, and that is grief2graceinternational.org. And it is that time for you to share and uplift someone else. So till I see you again in this platform, I just want you to remain blessed. I want you to know that I love you. I want you to know that we love you. A lot of us out there, you are not alone in this journey. I want you to know that you are not alone in this journey. Our mission here at Grief to Grace is to help you find grace in this your journey, is to find purpose in your pain, is to discover the grace that lies on the other side of the suffering. Together we can explore all of this together and bring transformation into your life. And I personally believe that a fresh start is always possible. Don't listen to the lies of the devil that says, no, you're stuck in it, you cannot rise again. I'm your fresh start advocate, and I believe that a fresh start is possible. So, irrespective of what you're going through, release all of your guilt. It is essential for your healing. Release all of your guilt. It is essential for your healing. We believe here at Grief to Grace that you let go of all of the guilt because it is essential to understand that some circumstances are beyond your control. Like Christina said, they are really like way beyond your control. So just live life as you see it, and have self forgiveness, self love. Begin to find love in yourself again, because that is a vital part of your journey. And hold on to faith in your journey, in the darkest moment of your life, and guiding them. So provide strength and hope for your future. So irrespective of what you're going through, hold on to faith. And like she said in the last one, she said seek support as much as you can. So don't work in this part of grief alone. Reach out to friends, reach out to families, support groups, and all who can offer understanding and comfort in your grief. So till I meet you again, I just want you to know that we have one quote, and this is it. The wound that you have, wherever it is the place where the light enters you. So even in your darkest moments, even in your darkest times, there is always light and healing waiting for us all on the other side. So thank you. I hope all of these things that we talked about will help you in your journey. But I don't want you to leave without liking us on our social media platforms. You have to like us on our social media platforms, and that is on our social media platforms, our website, which is grief2graceinternational.org, and our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Apple and Spotify's podcast, everywhere. You just need to like us in it, and you follow us on Grief2Grace on all of our platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, TikTok. We on TikTok now. And we starting Trash It Tribe on TikTok. Starting more very soon. February 14, we starting Trash It Tribe on TikTok. And I know that you're definitely going to join us on TikTok and share your stories and drop all of your problems, all of your anxiety. And it will be hosted by Wendy, and she is awesome. She's that young lady that I've been able to pull through all that she's been through. So I just want to say thank you for being there. And I love you. So, do you have like one last word for our listeners today?
Go with peace and find hope in God and know that you're not alone. You're never alone.
Okay, so thank you so much. And we will end with this Bible verse, which is usually like our Bible verse every day. And it is a reminder of where God has kept us and where He picked us from. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and He saves those who are crushed in spirit. So may these words actually offer solace to each and every one of us in our journey through Christ our Lord. Amen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Till we meet again next time, I remain Ruth Hephzibah, and this is Grief to Grace.